Hey, podcast listeners, Dills Victoria here again. What's Your Brand Story podcast? I have an amazing guest who's also my client. I love working with this queen. She is absolutely amazing. She is feisty, real, raw, honest, transparent, and she packs a punch with her little self. So, thank you for coming on the podcast, Chyna Smith of Enlightened Voices LLC. She is a powerful transformational speaker, motivational speaker, empowerment speaker. She is doing all the things, and she's really, really a force to be reckoned with. And I feel like whenever you're in her presence, you will feel her energy and her resilience and her determination. So, I wanted to bring her on to speak to my podcast listeners. And as always, have a pen and notebook because I know she's going to be dropping some amazing gems. So, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, China. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here though. I feel I've been watching the Monday nights anyway, so I feel like I already know the flow and things, but it's still like so ironic to go from like watching to like
Uh-huh.
actually being on the platform. Like,
Absolutely. So, can you tell us what is Enlightened Voices and how did you come about being a transformational speaker, motivational speaker? Like, take us on that journey?
so enlightened voices was literally created to enlighten voices. Like being vocal is so mandatory in so many different ways to use your voice, whether it's poetry, singing, speaking, rapping, whatever it is, like just actually activate and use it for what you want to use it for. And that is all enlightened voices is really here to display and create. Like
Mhm.
in every way, form, and fashion. Like people can I just wanted to create a platform for whatever talent, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you teach. Like it just needs to enlighten the next person. Your voice needs to hold weight to actually try and transform somebody else. Like a light is supposed to shine.
Yep.
So this is a platform for a person to get on here and use their voice to do that.
That's awesome. So, how has that journey to being a transformational speaker come about? Like, what was it that sparked this flame in you to say, okay, yeah, this is the journey. This is where what I want to do.
I was booking travel. I had got into booking travel, and it had got to a point to where it's like I had to host my own webinar. So I had to find everybody to come, and I had to give like my
Hmm.
why I felt like I got into this investment, and I did it, and I just something just like came over me like, okay, this is it. Not necessarily booking travel, but to have pretty much cultivated a audience and been able to speak and help that audience understand why I felt this was beneficial for me and to hear so many yeses, like to see the actual transformation that I made in the minds of other people, that kind of gave me the okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Hmm. That's awesome. How does it feel when you're speaking to people and when you're on stage? Like, what is that and a high for you? Like, what does that feel like? Because it's different for everybody.
I feel like the elephant in the room. And for me, that is just my moon sign is Leo. Okay. I'm a Libra, but my moon sign is Leo.
Hmm.
So I don't want you to just hear me, baby. You need to see me. You see me and you feel me. And that's what the elephant in the room. That's what the elephant in the room represents to me. I don't mind being the elephant, because at the same time, y'all gonna stay out my way.
Yep. Yep.
So that's pretty much what I feel like. It feels like to me. Like I feel like the biggest person in the world. Like I know y'all hear me.
Hmm.
That's how I feel. I know you heard me.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think that just I don't know, that's just I love being in that space
Hmm.
because everybody wants to feel heard. Everybody wants to feel like people see them and that they hear them. So for me, being comfortable and confident in speaking is what makes me feel that.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, what kind of speaker are you? Would you say are you one that You just speak on stage and you have slides, or you're a speaker that's interactive and you ask thought-provoking questions? Like, what is your speaking style? What is your approach?
I'm more of a like interactive, real life, real moment type of person. Like I got my own experience to help you break down the transformation that I give, but I can also hear the story of another and take them through that same transformation. The method that I created is nothing but rinse and wash. Like it applies to every type of relationship, to every type of person, no matter if it is your at your job or in your relationship, your friendships, your family, whatever. Like it's literally just a wash and rinse that work for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why it's so easy for me to be interactive. And a lot of the times, we just don't know that that's how we actually learn. We
Mm-hmm.
grew up having to sit down and pay attention to a teacher. But if you could talk back and forth with that teacher and ask them questions, you gonna remember more of the conversation that you had with that teacher than you is what you read in that book.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, 100%. Because it's in real time conversation and it's being able to like feel in real time and activate what it is that you are experiencing in real time, and it's a back and forth conversation that's taking place. So I completely understand that.
Mhm.
So when it comes to transformational speaking, like, who is your target audience? Who are the people that you're wanting to connect with, that you know that you can create an impact with and for?
The self-helpers. You need to be don't come to me if you don't want to help yourself. Don't ask me to do nothing for you. You ain't gonna do for you. Swear to God. Don't.
On
Don't.
God.
Self self-helpers, Gen Zers, and not even only Gen Zers, because honestly, I feel like I always just have resonated with the older group of people because but Gen Z also though, because they are also looking for the transparency and just the rawness that I give, but the older generation always resonates with me more too, because they know how to perceive that.
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z to a certain extent I might hurt your feelings a little bit, but you
Mm-hmm.
gonna listen. Like you hearing what I'm saying. You open because you know by how I'm telling you. I'm being real with you. I'm just it sound messed up, but I'm being real with you. And Gen Z appreciate that more than anything. But the
Mm-hmm.
older generation just know how to perceive and receive that tough love because that's what y'all grew up with. So this ain't no different than what you done already experienced. It's just nowadays you don't get that from people no more. So I'm such a breath of fresh air because I'm so young, but I can resonate with everybody. I can relate with everybody. It really ain't nothing too much that I ain't seen or experienced on my
Mm-hmm.
own. It's just that at 26, I know how to process it and repurpose it in a way that benefits me in my life, and other people take different routes.
That makes sense. So, what do you feel sets you apart from everyone else that's a motivational speaker, transformational speaker?
Because my goal is not to make you feel good. Like I'm not, my goal is not to make you feel good. I'm here to really help you transform into who you are trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't hold your hand through that process. It ain't nothing I can do for you at all. I just have wisdom that will help you along your journey. So it is
Mm-hmm.
up to that person to take it and carry it with them, see how far they get. But I don't advertise to be this just magical worker. I don't know. Like I'm not a coach. Like I know I have the wisdom for you that if you really hear me and you take this with you, this will get you a lot farther than me selling this image of, let me say a nice few quotes or whatever, and this is it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
motivation don't last long.
Nope. It-
Motivation don't last long. A transformation is a permanent step in your progression. And that's why I only identify as a transformational speaker and not just motivational. Because a self-helper can motivate themselves. That's not who, like, because of who I speak to, they don't need that from me.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're actively, consistently doing the work, and they made a commitment to make sure that they're always helping the self. And helping the self
Yeah.
means taking specific tools and implementing them to the life and taking action and not having to be supervised or micromanaged or whatever you want to say it is because you're actively consistently doing your work.
Yep. A self-helper motivate themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but self-helpers need transformational speakers because how can you get me the transformation if I'm already motivated to get the transformation? I need connection to people who can actually make that transformation happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need. And that's even with Gen Z, that's why they know that they need to be their true self. They know that they are supposed to be loved wholly and fully. And they know that they are supposed to be able to be themselves, express themselves in any way that is comfortable to them. So they need a person to help them understand how to transform into that person.
Yep.
And people got to understand you don't always got to burn a bridge to transform. You can respectfully communicate things and changes that are going on in your life. And then once they're not being tended to in your way of fashion that you imagine, that's when you begin to remove people.
Mm-hmm. And I think too with the Gen Zers, they're more willing and open and ready and available to take in the knowledge and the wisdom and to absorb it. And there are people who are full of truth and transparency in their own way. And they don't allow fear to keep them stuck. They'd be afraid, but they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna just jump anyway because this is what I need to do.
Yes.
Yep. So you're saying that you're a transformational speaker. What is the difference to you between being a coach and a speaker?
A coach will hold your hand. A coach is exactly why I'm sad about my last call with you today
Mm-hmm.
because I've grown comfortable in your presence. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, I have made progress, you know what I'm saying? But now there's a little bit of a kind of like, well, am I still gonna be able to make that same type of progress without this person? Or just the risk of not making the same type of progress. But only because to a certain extent, a
Mm-hmm.
coach can baby you and hold your hand. Like you told me that, okay, on Wednesdays, what day works for you? I say Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. What time work for you? Okay, about 2 o'clock. Okay, so every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, I'm gonna call you, and we're gonna do this. So that's just like a holding your hand type of thing. Like this was something that was told to me that I listened to, and that's kind of like every step of the way. I got you for however long,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That's a coach.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm with you every step of the way. When you lost the game, I was on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
A speaker, a transformational speaker. I gave you the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. I came, I gave you the blueprint, and I left. Now, what you
Mm-hmm.
do with the blueprint
That's on
is
you.
up to you. That's on you. Simply because, and I stay away from it simply because when you are in the area that involves mental health, personal development, all of those things, people go through real life problems. People go through real life things that hinder them in their business and that hinder them in their life. And people have had like traumatic experiences on why they think the way they think, why they self sabotage, why they have imposter syndrome, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't trying, I don't listen. I done been through enough. I'm not trying to get trauma dumped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too empathic. I feel too deeply and to some type of certain extent. If I'm already gonna have to get off this camera and go through things in real life, or get off this phone with whoever and go through things in real life, I gotta protect my energy somewhere.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's just why I feel I excluded that side of things. But I do still want to make it available for people to ask me my opinion on things and things like that. So that is why I have my podcast. That is why my introduction episode is coming out tonight for people to get the feel of me and who I am, why I shoot the shit straight, why I'm the realest that it's gonna be, why I'm a transformational speaker, and why you will actually transform. You're not only going to be just motivated to transform, you actually can transform if you actually take heed to the things that
Mm-hmm.
I say. You ain't gotta just take it for face value, but take it along with you. It's still
Mm-hmm.
there. If you find
Mm-hmm.
$1, you ain't gonna leave it just because you don't need it. You gonna pick it
Exactly.
up and you gonna take it with you. So that's pretty much what my podcast is there for. That's why I actually speak in general, and I feel like people will benefit enough from that. If you're a true self helper and you truly want to transform and get to where you're going, what I give is gonna be enough.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what would you say would be something that you're going to be offering on your podcast that you know that's really going to be beneficial? Like, name one thing or like a topic for me that you feel is going to be very beneficial.
Um, Topic, I'm gonna say boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
The boundary will be like a very authentic side of things. I would love for that to be like a call in segment where I have like a real life scenario and I can help somebody in real time,
Mm-hmm.
like actually build a boundary or two, or just go through that actual transformational process.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I just had one part of the segment where a person was able to come on, explain a thing, and I actually walk them through one simple transformation using that method, like that would be cool. And boundaries is the area to do it because boundaries is the place that people experience the hardest transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Self love is a trend now, baby. Everybody loving themselves. Everybody choosing them.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, with the accountability part and teaching people to self improve over self punishment is so easy.
Yep.
But when it comes to boundaries, it's how do you expect me to tell my mama who has yelled and controlled my life my whole life that she can no longer yell and disrespect me and control the parts of me that I need to be free. How do you expect me to do that? Like those are the issues that come into play with boundaries. How do you expect me to tell my partner that they can no longer um, speak to me in this type of manner when we have communicated in these type of ways for so long? How do you expect me to tell my job that I will no longer do things outside of what I am appreciated for and paid for when I have just been known to go above and beyond for so long? Those are
Mm-hmm.
the type of pain points that people experience in
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. And I would love to only my boundary episodes will be so intentional to where they're only going to be episodes when there is a actual person wanting to call in need of that type of transformation, just for me to give people that authentic, that real organic viewpoint of how it can be done in their life.
That's awesome. What is a compliment that you've been given about your speaking style that is memorable to you?
um I remember my first speaking engagement was in Florida. It was free. I did it completely free. I went to Florida like on like $500, and I did my speaking engagement, and it was a young like college student there, and she had just been so used to being like pushed over and just silent that for me to get up and speak, I was 8 months pregnant also, mind you. For me
Mm-hmm.
to get up and speak and be able to hear her pain points and validate why she should stand up for herself and why she should be seen and why she should be heard. Like it changed her in a way of she really listened and she created her boundaries and she understood why she was valuable enough to have those boundaries and why her voice was valuable enough to be heard. So for me, that really just complimented me like ultimately because I could just tell just from talking to her, like she had really experienced. Like she told me that she had experienced somebody actually asking her if she had autism before. Like she had experienced like that type of bullying in her life, and it's just that's how closed off that she had just became from experiencing always being talked over and things like that. So now, like I actually keep up with her. She's doing better. She has more of like a social life. She feels like stronger in her boundaries and things. But to know that I actually helped her feel an actual empowerment within her voice was like the ultimate for me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because sometimes people come to your events or when you're speaking and you really have no idea who's in the room and you have no idea what they're going through. And then when you're finished speaking and interacting with people, and then they're able to tell you exactly how you made them feel and what they experienced from you, is it's like a game changer for you too, because you're learning something about yourself that damn, like,
Yeah.
my style of speaking and how I'm actually interacting with the audience is really, really setting a tone. It's powerful. It's magic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. So where do you see yourself in like 6 months to a year?
Also, close to a year, I'm gonna have money by then. I don't know what type of. I don't even think I'm gonna know how to say the type of numbers I'm gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like no, seriously though, I'm definitely my presence is gonna be strong. It's gonna be firm. Like my foundation is going to be laid, and people are going to know me though for sure. Like they're gonna know who China is,
Mm-hmm.
and like not even just China, they're gonna know Enlightened Voices, and Enlightened Voices is going to be like that place that people can come and just be heard for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And at first in business, I always prefer to stay away from spirituality
Mm-hmm.
because I just know how touchy that can get.
Mm-hmm.
Or I am spiritual to the sense of I respect everybody who needs to put themselves in a category or a certain religion. I respect everybody's outlook, but I just choose not to be bound to one book, one church or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's just me. Is God is in me and I'll figure out my way through there. Like I feel like I've been led this far because the difference in me and what I see in a lot of other people is I really had no religious upbringing. Like there
Mm-hmm.
was no religion really there to persuade me to believe in any type of way or anything like that. So I feel so much more openness as a person to different realities and possibilities and perceptions and opinions and things like that, that none of it actually bothers me. Like in our reality, everybody's praying to the same person and doing the same things. People just feel that they need to have a different name for it, or they need to have the name that they have always heard their whole life. I mean, that's understandable. You've been told your whole life your name Dylan. So if somebody tomorrow start calling you Phyllis, you're gonna be like, that's not my name.
Right, exactly. And it happens all the damn time.
Mhm. That's what people are with it, but now with spirituality and enlightened voices, I feel like there is no enlightened voices without spirituality. Honestly, there is no self-awareness without spirituality. There's nothing without spirituality. So I really can't run from it anymore like I
Nope.
used to. So
It's running. It's because it's running with you. You run from it. It's running with you
yeah,
because it's a part of who you are. So you can't run from it. You're absolutely right.
yeah. So honestly, enlightened voices is actually it's gonna be a lot bigger than what I originally imagined, but we just
Yeah, it'll be
you
bigger
and
than
me, I will
life.
definitely yeah.
So if you could leave one message, one motivational message to the viewers to embody and embrace, what would that message be?
Hmm. I always I came up with self-improvement over self-punishment because being a better person for you is feels so much better than being a better person for somebody else.
Hmm.
I am a calmer, more positive, more optimistic person because that helps me in my life struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have become that person, I can then outreach to other people. So self-improvement over self-punishment is the same. Like any drop of water you get, anything that is poured into you from other people that you encounter or you experience, nurture yourself with it. Hydrate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that you begin to just grow and learn with, like the love you have from that person will forever be unmatched. So the more you improve yourself and become a nurturing version of yourself and you give that to yourself, everything around you will literally feel like it is given to you. The more you give to yourself, the more that life literally just gives to you, whether it's people, opportunities, money, anything you could possibly really imagine will be given, but you have to prioritize giving to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. That's it. Self improve over self punish. Give to you instead of taking from you.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. 100%. Cool. Like I told you guys, she was going to drop some gems in the half, and she surely did. Let the church say amen.
Okay? And snap your fingers.
Snap your
Snap your
fingers.
fingers.
Do little claps. So can you tell everyone where they can find you and, all your socials, website, all that good stuff? And I know that China is definitely available to speak at conferences, webinars, seminars, workshops, boot camps, all of the things. So you can connect with her, contact her. If you're looking for a transformational speaker, you're looking for someone who's real, raw, honest, and is going to give it to you straight and give it to you hot and give it to you with fire, with no chaser. This is the person you want to call to come and speak to your
Okay?
people. Exactly. So where can people find you?
TikTok at underscore enlightened voices, Instagram underscore enlightened voices, LinkedIn enlightened voices. Everything is just enlightened voices, but it is so right now just Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. A Facebook group will be coming soon if I feel like it's needed. But until then, y'all just follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, connect with me on LinkedIn most definitely. Um, and also check out my Beacons link to stay aware of everything, get in tune with my newsletter, and you'll be
Pretty
seeing
much
more of
it.
me. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. You're an amazing
Thank you for having
person.
me.
Of course, absolutely. That's a given. That's a given. So make sure you follow China on all social media platforms. She is an amazing, powerful, transformational speaker. She drops so much different nuggets. She has some motivational Mondays. She has stuff on Sundays, stuff on Fridays, all of that good stuff. So make sure that you check her out. Until next time, podcast listeners, Stills Victoria here, your host of What's Your Brand Story podcast, and we are out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.